Hey, 49ers fans. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into everything happening with our San Francisco 49ers. Today, we have a ton to unpack, and we're starting off with one of the most intriguing storylines surrounding the team right now, rookie quarterback Curtis Rohr. It's been a little while since we last discussed him, so let's bring everyone up to speed. Curtis was selected by the 49ers in the 7th round of this year's NFL Draft, picked 227th overall out of Indiana. Interestingly, he was also a 3rd-round pick in the Canadian Football League draft, but obviously, making it to the NFL was always going to be the dream. His nickname, thanks to his Canadian roots, is the Maple Missile, and it's not just a catchy moniker. This guy's built tough. He played through an ACL tear last season, leading Indiana to their best record in program history. Then this year, he took it even further, guiding the Hoosiers to the college football playoff, where they fell to Notre Dame. That resilience and determination are exactly the qualities that have scouts and coaches intrigued. Standing 6'4" and weighing 225 pounds, Curtis is 25 years old, and he brings a mature presence to the quarterback room. He began his college career at Ohio before transferring to Indiana, where he played under first-year head coach Curt Cignetti. Cignetti, in just his first year, demonstrated the ability to elevate players, and Curtis benefited immensely from that guidance. In terms of playing style, Rohr fits the prototypical NFL pocket passer mold. He has the ability to deliver precise throws at the 2nd and 3rd levels, something Kyle Shanahan highly values in his offensive system. Shanahan's scheme relies on well-timed route combinations and rhythm throws, and Curtis shows the ability to make those passes with touch and timing. While he isn't the type of quarterback who will consistently make defenders miss with his legs, he doesn't panic under pressure. He has the toughness to stand in the pocket, absorb hits, and deliver the football consistently. That grit is precisely why Shanahan and the 49ers coaching staff were interested in him during the pre-draft evaluations. NFL scouts who attended the Combine noted that he possesses several of the strengths that both Brock Purdy and Mac Jones display, making him an intriguing fit for the 49ers offense. Looking ahead, this upcoming period acts as an audition for Curtis. With the practice window open, he has the chance to showcase his skills and possibly secure a backup quarterback role for the 2026 season. While Mac Jones is under contract and projected to be the starting quarterback, Curtis could compete for the QB3 position or, in certain scenarios, even the 2nd-string role behind Brock Purdy. The upcoming offseason is likely to be a critical period, as other teams may explore trades for quarterbacks, depending on who declares for the draft and which collegiate prospects return to school. That could open doors for a player like Curtis to move up the depth chart if he impresses in practices and preseason evaluations. Turning to other roster news, the 49ers recently made a move by claiming linebacker Garrett Wallow off waivers from Denver, while placing Ben Bartch on injured reserve. Bartch suffered a significant Lisfranc injury against the Cleveland Browns, likely requiring surgery and ending his season. Spencer Burford is now expected to take over full-time at left guard, and Wallow adds depth to the linebacker core. These adjustments are particularly important as the 49ers prepare to return from their Week 14 bye and face the Tennessee Titans in Week 15. Injuries have been a recurring theme this season, particularly on the defensive line, where players like Euro Matos and Jacob Cowing have battled injuries. Matos, in particular, could provide a much-needed boost to the pass rush if he can stay healthy down the stretch. He signed a 2-year, $18 million deal, but has struggled to stay on the field consistently due to knee and hamstring issues. When healthy, however, he has been effective, recording a pass rush grade of 80.4 and demonstrating versatility across the defensive line, similar to players like Clelin Ferrell and Keion White. The 49ers pass rush has been one of the weakest units in the NFL this season, a situation exacerbated by injuries to key players, including Nick Bosa and their 1st-round pick Melvin Williams. Despite individual efforts from players like Fred Warner, the team ranks at the bottom in sacks, pressures, and overall pass rush efficiency. Adding Matos back into the lineup could provide some much-needed support as the team tries to stabilize this aspect of their defense heading into the final stretch of the season. On top of that, linebacker Eric Kendricks, currently on the practice squad, could be elevated for game day, providing the team with additional veteran experience. Kendricks has been remarkably consistent over his career, recording over 100 tackles in 9 consecutive seasons, and his potential return would be a welcome boost for the 49ers. As the team gears up for their next matchup against Tennessee, it's important to contextualize the playoff picture in the NFC. With the Week 14 results in, the Rams have taken over the number 1 seed, while the Chicago Bears have fallen to the number 7 spot after losing to the Green Bay Packers. The Packers now sit at the number 2 seed, and the Philadelphia Eagles remain at 3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Carolina Panthers are closely competing for playoff positioning in the NFC South, with their head-to-head matchups over the next few weeks likely determining who takes the division. The 49ers, meanwhile, have moved up from 7-6 to 9-4, tied with Chicago, thanks to their bye week. Detroit, Carolina, and Dallas are all within reach. But realistically, the Cowboys' playoff hopes hinge solely on winning the NFC East and depending on a collapse from Philadelphia. With 4 games remaining for San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle, every matchup is going to carry immense playoff implications. Looking at the upcoming schedule for the Rams, they face the Detroit Lions at home in Week 15. Detroit, having played recently on Thursday night, will have a rest advantage. Then the Rams travel to Seattle to face the Seahawks on a short week, creating another potential opening for the 49ers. Week 17 sees them on the road against Atlanta, and the final week concludes against Arizona at home. The Seahawks, meanwhile, have a slightly easier stretch with key injuries affecting opponents, but their game against San Francisco in Week 18 at Levi's Stadium will be pivotal in deciding the NFC West champion. For the 49ers, the remaining schedule includes games against Tennessee, the Colts, Chicago, and finally, Seattle. Each contest presents an opportunity to improve playoff seeding and assert dominance in the division. Heading into the Titans game, the 49ers will have to consider several key matchups. Tennessee, coming off a win over Cleveland, has shown resilience despite difficult conditions, including harsh weather that often affects games this time of year. The Titans quarterback, Cam Ward, is the top overall pick, and San Francisco will need to execute at a high level to maintain their lead in the division. Meanwhile, injuries across the league, such as Daniel Jones' season-ending Achilles tear with the Colts and Riley Leonard's uncertain status, have created additional complexities for opponents and opened the door for the 49ers to capitalize on favorable matchups. The combination of roster adjustments, strategic opportunities, and playoff implications makes this an absolutely critical stretch for San Francisco as they push toward the postseason. As we dive deeper into the 49ers situation, one of the most interesting aspects of this late-season stretch is how the team can leverage its roster depth and manage injuries to maximize playoff potential. Curtis Rohr, as we discussed earlier, represents a potentially crucial piece not just for the present, but for the 2026 season and beyond. While Mac Jones remains the starter and Brock Purdy holds the second-string spot, Rohr's chance to impress in practice sessions cannot be understated. With other teams exploring quarterback trades and potential moves in the offseason, San Francisco could find itself in a position where Rohr emerges as a viable backup quarterback, possibly moving up the depth chart if circumstances align. This is the kind of developmental story that makes the final weeks of a season fascinating because it isn't just about wins and losses. It's about shaping the roster for long-term success. Meanwhile, the defensive side of the ball continues to be a major focus for the 49ers. With Ben Bartch on injured reserve, Spencer Burford's elevation to the starting left guard position is a key adjustment. Offensive line consistency is crucial for both protecting the quarterback and establishing the run game, and Burford's performance over the next few weeks will likely play a significant role in how the offense sustains itself during the playoff push. At linebacker, Garrett Wallow's addition from Denver gives the team a bit more depth, which is essential given the grueling nature of the NFL season and the number of injuries the team has faced. Linebacker play is a critical component of San Francisco's defense, particularly in passing situations where coverage and run support must be balanced. Wallo's ability to contribute immediately could relieve pressure on other starters and allow the coaching staff to rotate personnel more strategically. The return of Yuro Matos to the defensive line, assuming he can stay healthy, is perhaps one of the most impactful developments. Matos has been plagued by injuries since signing his 2-year deal, and when he has played, he hasn't always been at 100%. Despite this, he remains one of the team's most skilled pass rushers, capable of playing both defensive end and defensive tackle. This versatility is vital for the 49ers as they look to improve their sack totals and pressure rates, both of which have been among the worst in the league this season. The loss of key players such as Nick Bosa, as well as the underperformance due to injuries along the defensive line, has left the 49ers struggling to generate consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Matos' health and performance in the coming games will directly impact the team's ability to contain high-powered offenses in the postseason. Adding Eric Kendricks into the equation could provide another layer of stability and experience. Kendricks has a decade of NFL experience and a long history of high tackle seasons, making him a reliable presence in the linebacker core. If elevated from the practice squad, he could be a game-changer against teams with potent running attacks, such as the Tennessee Titans. San Francisco's ability to strategically deploy veterans like Kendricks alongside emerging talent like Wallo and Matos will be a defining factor in the defensive performance down the stretch. The coaching staff faces a balancing act, ensuring that the lineup is strong enough to compete immediately while also developing younger players who could be integral in future seasons. Turning to the broader playoff picture, the NFC standings are shaping up to create a high-stakes environment. The Rams have surged to the top seed, but their upcoming schedule is far from easy. Games against the Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks, Atlanta Falcons, and Arizona Cardinals will test the team's depth and resilience. Detroit, with extra days of rest, could present a challenge, while Seattle and Atlanta will test both defensive and offensive consistency. For the 49ers, there is a window of opportunity to capitalize if the Rams falter. The Seahawks, with their own set of injuries and uncertainties, also provide a potential opening for San Francisco to make a significant move in the NFC West race. The Week 18 matchup at Levi's Stadium against Seattle could very well determine the division winner, making every preceding game crucial for playoff positioning. The Niners' upcoming game against the Titans is another storyline filled with intrigue. Tennessee, coming off a victory over Cleveland, remains a formidable opponent despite unpredictable weather conditions often affecting late-season games. Cam Ward, the top overall pick, will test the 49ers' defensive front, particularly if Matos and other key linemen are able to play at peak performance. The Titans' ability to run and pass effectively means that San Francisco must maintain discipline across all levels of the defense. The offensive line, already impacted by injuries, will need to protect the quarterback and establish enough of a run game to control the tempo. Matchups against the linebackers and secondary coverage will also be critical, as the Titans' offense looks to exploit any mismatches in personnel or alignment. Looking further ahead, the Colts are in a difficult situation following Daniel Jones' season-ending Achilles injury, with Riley Leonard stepping in under uncertain conditions. This creates both a potential advantage and a challenge for the 49ers. While facing a backup quarterback might seem beneficial, the team cannot underestimate Leonard's ability to capitalize on mistakes or defensive lapses. Every opponent in these final weeks has their own unique variables, making preparation and adaptability essential for San Francisco. The coaching staff will need to study each scenario closely, designing game plans that maximize strengths while mitigating weaknesses across the roster. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A shockwave seemed to ripple through the league as whispers began circulating around the Bay Area. Aaron Donald in red and gold. What started as a quiet murmur in training facilities and front office corridors has quickly grown into the loudest rumor of the season. According to those close to the situation, the legendary defensive force has reportedly signed with the San Francisco 49ers, sparking a frenzy among players, coaches, and fans who can hardly believe what they're hearing. Sources describe the atmosphere in Santa Clara as electric, almost disbelieving, as if the franchise had just placed a fortress at the heart of its defensive line. Coaches are said to be exchanging glances of both excitement and caution. Opposing teams, on the other hand, are already reworking protection schemes, trying to imagine how to slow down a player who has spent a career breaking double teams like they were suggestions rather than assignments. While nothing official has been announced publicly, insiders claim that the 49ers decision-makers moved with quiet aggression, seizing a rare opportunity to bolster a defense already known for its ferocity. The idea of pairing Donald with San Francisco's existing front has left analysts stunned, some calling it unfair, others calling it era-defining. In locker rooms around the league, veterans reportedly shook their heads in surprise, and younger players whispered about having to face one of football's most feared disruptors in a new uniform. Even in San Francisco, where expectations are always sky-high, the buzz borders on disbelief. Fans near Levi's Stadium have been gathering, trading theories, and trying to imagine what this move could mean for the season ahead. For now, everything remains wrapped in speculation, but one thing is clear. If the rumors hold true, a new wall has been built in San Francisco, one carved by a future Hall of Famer whose presence alone can tilt the balance of a championship race. The league is holding its breath, waiting for confirmation, but the echo of the news has already begun to reshape conversations everywhere football is spoken. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.